Hey guys, welcome back. Today I have before you the Tanchjim 4U. So the 4U is the latest IEM from Tanchjim. It is a single dynamic driver IEM with a PU and LCP dome composite diaphragm. The Tanchjim 4U is currently selling exclusively for $69 on HiFiGo website. I would like to thank HiFiGo for sending this IEM over for touring purposes in exchange for an honest review and impression. I didn't receive any financial benefit or instructions on how to do this review. Everything I said in this video would be my subjective opinion only. So the 4U comes in this simple medium-sized square box. The content of the box includes the IEM itself, a 2-course cable with 3.5mm termination, a small tool to turn the bass switch, a small pouch, 3 pairs of short wide board tips, 3 pairs of long medium board tips, a quick guide, and a manual paper. So the 4U shells are made out of zinc alloy with a raw matte finish. It has this ergonomics design to it with the rising base from the nozzles, as well as the 2 pins of the cable pointing more forward than upward. It is light yet very sturdy. I personally really like the surface of the shell as I don't have to worry about it getting scratches when throwing the IEM around. But I do not like how the faceplate is opposite of that, where it is really easy to get scratched. The most standout feature of this IEM is the bass turning mechanism. Tanchjim has implemented this screw to the ear facing size of the IEM. By using the included tool, you can turn the mechanism and choose the bass level that you would like. The 4 levels of bass are indicated by the thickness of the marking, with the thinnest mark having the lowest bass, and the side that has no mark or pointing towards the nozzle or the stock option being the bassiest. The cable on the other hand is very light, soft but also thin. It is a 2-course cable with SPC as the conducting material. It is easy to have this cable tangled up, but at least the comfort while wearing this cable is good. As for comfort, I can wear this IEM for many hours straight with no hotspot, as the 4U is a relatively small IEM. One thing I would like to comment on is that when using the 4U with my plugged-in laptop, I got zapped by the outer shells, so users be aware. Power and sensitivity wise, the 4U is a hard to drive IEM, especially in comparison to other single dynamic IEM. When measuring the 4U, I have to press the volume up by a few notches to have a similar sound pressure level compared to the others. Onto the sound impression, the 4U has a harmonious tuning. Let's start with the bass first. So there are 4 bass modes for the 4U, and in my opinion, only 2 of those options are truly enjoyable, which are the pop and the natural mode. With the atmosphere mode or the highest bass mode, the 4U would give you the most fun bass amount. However, this introduces 2 problems. First, with the atmosphere mode, there is the appearance of the pressure buildup when pushing the IEM into my ears. This makes the listening experience ever so slightly more uncomfortable as well as harder to fit. And second, with that high level of sub-bass energy, it's sort of masking the detail of the rest of the frequency, not letting the details coming forward because the high mids and the treble energy aren't as great. Even as a bass head, I don't like how this mode affects the overall balance of the IEM. On the other side is the monitor mode, which has the lowest bass amount. I can't exactly enjoy it either. I mean, yes, this does turn the 4U into a monitor IEM because the mids and the treble are being more forward and that lets you monitor all the minute details. But by then the bass is so low, it affected the timbre of many instruments and the vocals. If you are the one who's sensitive to bass or are treble head, you may love this tuning option. That is why I felt like the middle ground, the popped and natural modes are the most pleasing options to listen to, with the pop having a bit higher bass than the natural mode. In this review, I will be focusing on the pop option as I felt that is the option that most people would enjoy listening to, as well as the most natural sounding to me. The bass now has a sub-bass roll-off from 50Hz and below. Sub-bass rumble is now only enough to give spice to pop and rock songs, but not enough for hardcore basshead or bass-heavy EDM. The sub-bass drop session of Why So Serious feels well controlled with adequate air movement. It's not the best I've heard before, as it does feel a bit unrefined, but for a budget IEM, it is quite decent. Mid-bass texture is above average, giving acoustic bass instruments just enough heft and body to them. Acoustic drums sound sumpy with enough resonance. On busy and fast-paced rock songs, the bass performance does feel a bit clunky. Onto the mid-range. The mid-range of the 4U feels very safe in general. The instruments have a natural timbre to them. There is a bit of bleed into the mid-range, but personally, I don't mind this too much, as this gives the mid-range just enough warm feeling. The note weight is decent as well. Vocals in general sound fine. I mean, on one hand, they lack the excitement factor, but on the other hand, they sound very safe with just enough body and not shouty, and very low in sibilance. Male vocals like Frank Sinatra and other baritones sound full, lush, and chesty. Female vocals sound quite smooth and neutral, but the way that Adele and Laufey convey their emotion feels quite boxy or cramped. I can't help but feel like their voices are being overly compressed or over-filtering. This effect is also amplified with the atmosphere mode, so the use of the wider bore tips also help mitigate this effect to some degree. And this is where the listening volume comes in. So with the 4U, you would just want to turn the volume up higher than normal, so that the vocals can be pushed more forwards through its seemingly invisible barrier that is holding its life back. And it is cheating to boost the perceived dynamic? Maybe. Does it make the 4U more enjoyable? I believe so. As for the treble, it is fairly relaxing. It is decently extended, not muted by any means, but in general, the treble of the 4U is quite tailored for treble sensitive people. There is no discernible peak until 15 kHz from my testing, but even then, that peak doesn't sound too offensive either. Cymbals and hi-hats sound present and very natural, not crunchy or overly edgy. They sound smooth, yet sparkly enough. That being said, the 4U aren't as great at showing those micro nuances. At busier passage, those details can get drawn out by the bass and the mid-range. At lower volume, this feeling of the lower frequency looming over the treble range is even greater. Technicality-wise, the soundstage of the 4U is only around average for all three dimensions. Because of how the mid-range instruments was conveyed, the imaging and the layering are only around average level. The 4U seems to be focusing everything on the tonality rather than the technicalities. Now, onto the comparison. First, I will compare the 4U with the Simgot EA500LM. So the ALM is a more W-shaped, more dynamic version of the 4U. The EA500LM has more fun bass with higher sub-bass amount, yet it doesn't feel like it is masking anything because the transients of the driver are faster and better than the 4U's. Mid-bass punches are more distinct, tighter, more suitable for faster bassline. Instruments sound a bit leaner on the EA500LM, with the horn instruments sound fuller on the 4U, and piano has a bit denser notes. Male vocals sound more mellow, less edgy on the 4U. Female vocals sound more forward, energetic, and livelier with the EA500LM. The upper mid-range is more pronounced on the LM, which can make the high notes sound more aggressive and some instruments more metallic. They are also more prone to sibilance. The treble on the EA500LM is brighter, more airy, and well extended. Percussion instruments sound crisper, sharper, with more pronounced decay. Electric guitar sounds more abrasive. At higher volume, the EA500LM is more fatiguing than the 4U. Technicality-wise, the EA500LM has wider and higher soundstage with sharper imaging. Instruments seems to have more breathing room between them. Micro nuances is also easier win for the EA500LM. The second IEM that I will compare with is the Delci. For the bass, the pop makes the 4U has a heavier sub-bass roll-off, and the difference is quite easy to spot. Sub-bass are more dominant on the Delci. Mid-bass punches are a bit tighter on the 4U though. Although the texture was on a similar level, if you want a fun type of bass, get the Delci, else if you want a more natural bass line, get the For You. On graph, both of these IEM are very similar to each other, and yes, in real life it can be categorized as warm and smooth. Instruments timbre are natural on both, but the For You sounds a bit more drier and more analytical. Both male and female vocals sounds more forward, open, clearer and less muted on the Delci. The For You is more of a loud volume set. The treble of the For You is more crisp as opposed to the Delci's more laid back and aerated treble. With a lower bass energy, the percussion instruments seem to sit more forward as well. Cymbals and hi-hats have more bite to them. The soundstage is a bit better, more holographic with the For You, yet the separation was less. It is more claustrophobic. So yeah, the Tanchjim For You is certainly an interesting product in the budget categories with its very unique bass tuning mechanism. If you are someone who is looking for a relatively safe tune IEM, an IEM that focuses on the tone and timbre instead of the technical performance, yet also want to listen to it at a mid to high volume, the For You could be the choice for them. That's it for my review and thank you for watching. See ya.